Part 330. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3291. But now, these little followers couldn't help but take a few more steps back. This taste is too strong. How do you help this shit? If they went up to help them, wouldn't they be completely defiled by the smell? This shit, it doesn't work at all. He retreated quickly, and his mentality completely collapsed. Originally peeing your pants is fine, since it's all about your lower body anyway. But now the limp is there, now it's healed, there are all parts of the body. Is this embarrassing? How about picking your feet in embarrassment? At this moment, he was clenching his teeth, and his mentality was also completely collapsed. As for the rest, there is no need to say more, they are directly split into pieces. Brother Lu Feng, you should get up by yourself. Cough, I still have something to do, so let's go first. I'm going to attack those Protoss people, and I'm leaving first. Brother Lu Feng, you must be self-reliant. I believe you can do it. The Taoist companions were originally birds in the same forest, and they flew separately when the disaster was imminent. This is still the case for Taoist couples, let alone those ordinary followers. At this moment, their running speed is getting faster and faster, and their eyeballs can't help but tremble. Lu Feng, who was covered in a special liquid, was instantly stunned. Is this a state that even dogs hate? 30 years in Hedong, 30 years in Hexi. You bastards with shallow eyelids. Just wait. In the future, see how I torture you in the future. How dare you treat me like this today, you will have a better time in the future. Lu Feng gritted his teeth, then wiped the liquid on his face with his clothes, and then moved aside without saying a word. Now the legs are really weak, and the whole person has long since cracked with the mentality, so how can I worry about getting what I have and what I don't have? At this moment, the holy clansman who was kicked out by Taishiji quickly got up at this moment, and then quickly made preparations to attack again. This guy rushed directly towards the crowd according to the principle of proximity, and his speed was extremely fast. Hiss. This is coming towards us. I wipe. What to do? Run, run. Zhuo Qiuyao's eyes widened, and then he couldn't help but gasped. At this moment, he was stunned. I didn't know how to express it in a few words, so I could only keep shaking my body, and my whole body became erratic. This is the god clansman of the holy state. And it's famous for its physical strength. The power value of that fist should not be too strong. If he was hit with a fist, his body would be crushed in an instant. Thinking of such an end, everyone's complexion completely changed. How could they say no at this moment? Brother Fang Fan, run, run. You, why are you still in a daze? Zhuo Qiuyao tugged Fang Fan, and then reminded him from the side. The current situation is simply not too harsh. If you are not careful, you may be followed by Liangbo. When the time comes to say 1,000 and 10,000 is bullshit, everything must be silent here. Such a messy environment, where can I go? And there are so many people. Fang Fan glanced at Xiangfei and the others. If he retreated suddenly now, something would definitely happen. Casualties are inevitable. Rather than that, it's better to think of a way to resist it at this time. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3292. Don't run, don't you want to wait here to die? Brother Fang Fan, you, don't let yourself be too hard on yourself. Hiss. The current situation, simply don't be too strict. Don't be impulsive. That's a god clansman in the holy state, who knows what cards this guy has in his hand. We can't grasp. I'm afraid it will be wiped out instantly. How to do this? Who So scary. Zhuoqiu licked his lips, and then quickly stood aside and said vigilantly. Things have come to this, we must hold on. Fine. As long as Brother Bai Biao is here, we will never be harmed in the slightest. Brother Bai Biao is invincible. Fang Fan looked at Bai Biao who was at the side, and then praised him. Bai Biao's body trembled. At this moment, the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. Just now, he suddenly had a very bad premonition. And that's it? Facts have proved that this premonition is really too real. Fang Fan boy, you humming think highly of me as a divine envoy. Then you don't have any points in your heart. This is at least a high-ranking saint-level Protoss. Moreover, it's still an infinite combat power erupting with physical strength. If this sandbag-sized fist hits me, I'm afraid I'll be smashed to pieces in an instant. Fang Fan, run away. I can't hold on anymore. I'm going to run away first. Bai Biao licked his lips, then couldn't help shrinking his neck. So Brother Bai Biao is afraid? Is it fear? Ah, this. Brother Bai Biao seems to have said before that even if a demigod is in front of you, he will not be afraid at all. That's it? Brother Bai Biao, speaking of it this way, have you always been talking big? Hiss. Looking at it this way, what Brother Bai Biao said in the future really needs to be carefully examined. It doesn't make much sense to just brag like that. Hey, this is also a huge blow to Brother Bai Biao's reputation. I heard that many people actually respect Brother Bai Biao very much. It's a pity, it's really a pity. Forget it, let's not talk about it. If it has been said to this point, then nothing is interesting. Anyway, how should I put it, I understand everything. If you really don't understand, there's nothing you can do. In the future, everyone must think carefully about what Brother Bai Biao said. Fang Fan knew Bai Biao's disposition, this guy looked extremely witty, but in fact he was the easiest to be provoked. As for this guy's defense limit, Fang Fan has been testing, but has never been successful. Gradually, it really became a mystery. No one knows where this guy's defensive limit is. But judging from the not panicked expression on Bai Biao's face at the moment, this level of attack power doesn't seem to pose much threat to him. Fang Fan boy, don't use this aggressive method. Humph. I figured this out a long time ago. It's nothing. Bai Biao gritted her teeth, then curled her lips aside and said. It seems quite arrogant at the moment. Zhuoqiu and the others at the side looked at each other and immediately understood Fang Fan's intentions. At this moment, they quickly started talking to each other. Hey, it seems that Brother Bai Biao really can't hold it anymore. It is true after all. After all, this is an attack by the gods of the Saint Realm. It is only natural that Brother Bai Biao can't hold it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3293. Guisha raised his eyebrows, and then pretended to be casual and said, this expression, this gesture. That's right. It seems that I have always deified Brother Bai Biao. I always thought that Brother Bai Biao was invincible in defense. Now it seems that also, Brother Bai Biao is still a human being after all, not a god. It's because I think too much. Zhuoqiu also nodded, showing a serious look. Xiangfei Zilai also expressed emotion without saying a word. The scene once exploded. What a good guy, what a good guy. This radical method is basically put on the bright side. Bai Biao has always cared about this face the most. For this face, what can't you do? Confused at the moment. You. You guys actually teamed up to trick me. Hee hee. I know it's an aggressive game, but so what? I'm not afraid. It's nothing. Will I pay attention to an attack of the level of a saint? Hey, I was just joking with you just now, but you all took it seriously. Interesting, very interesting. Let me tell you the truth. Don't say it's such a lowly saint level attack, even if Shui Wanren does it himself, I'm not afraid. Wouldn't it be better to just hit the ground every minute? Bai Biao completely drifted away. While talking at this moment, he couldn't help but hold his head up, his whole body gradually became extremely surging, and when his thoughts were boiling, the brilliance in his eyes also gathered in an all-round way. After all, it is such a gesture. Piao is the strict style that Bai Piao has always followed. The high-spirited attitude is especially true invisibly. Coming. He rushed over. Guisha's eyes were sharp, and then he took a breath and said, "Brother Bai Piao. It's up to you." Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, then pulled Guisha and said, "Such an attack power is too weak." Bai Piao pouted, then walked over with her head held high. "No matter when and where, you must have." Stepping out, the surrounding atmosphere is swept away. Boom. The fist of the Holy Clansman landed directly on Bai Piao's body, and he punched it with extreme speed, invisibly giving people a sense of infinite leap in ideas. This power, I am afraid that even the ordinary Supreme Saint can't hold it. Gudong. This Protoss is really extraordinary. Zhuoqiuyao swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and let out a real sigh in his heart. It is natural to have these special thoughts and feelings in my heart at this moment. Some things are just so real. Grass. Male Gobe. Bai Piao couldn't help but swear directly, and at this moment, cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Immediately, his body trembled continuously, and blood gurgled from the corner of his mouth. Bai Piao hastily used a healing card for himself, at least to save his own life. Otherwise, this mentality will collapse in an instant. Liang Lianjiao Guang is fully practicing to the end. Wow Kaka! How did he not die? Tirlaha! The defense is so strong. The Holy Clansman in the Holy State immediately started to rage, and then charged up again to attack. Grass. Master! Help me! Your apprentice is going to be cold. Deputy Palace Master. Come quickly. In order to save Guangming Academy, I will fight with my own body. I am the hero of Guangming Academy. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3294. Bai Piao shouted at the top of his voice, "It's so humming difficult. Why is this Protoss man so strong? This fist is really like steel, the kind of steel that has been tempered countless times." Rao is Bai Piao's temperament, he can't hold it anymore at this moment, he can't help but growl along with Quan Quan. This posture is shown, and all aspects are too real. Everything is in its purest form. As for the rest, it's all bullshit, nothing. It's true that the mentality is broken. Boom. Bang bang bang. The God Clansman in the Holy Realm is also anxious at this moment, his strength is getting stronger and stronger, his breathing becomes more and more rapid, and traces of blood are flickering in his eyes. The posture of gnashing teeth is also slowly revealed. This is so f***ing, why can't it be hammered to death? Is this guy so tough? How could this defense be so strong? The God Clansman in the Holy State yelled several times, and the whole person seemed a little confused. Hankasi. Dog days. John in Carrara, Moxica. Damn intruders, die. No matter how loud it is actually useless. The situation is such a situation, the situation is such a situation, nothing is. At this moment, he could only widen his ignorant eyes, and then followed around to scan around, feeling a sense of confusion suddenly swept over him. What else is there to say after this? Even whispering to himself can't be done, let alone other things that are not available. The end is the best state of the moment. Die. Boom. Uncle G finally arrived, and launched an attack from the side, slashing straight to the head of the saint-level god clansman, and immediately cut off most of his head. Dig Cassie. Ah! In a roar of unwillingness, this holy clansman of the holy state gradually fell down. At this moment, it will eventually perish. How about it? Are you okay? Your defense ability is good. Even if you resist these waves of attacks as a teacher, I'm afraid you will be cold, but you can still stand. It seems that I really underestimated you before. You're a humming talent. Tai Shuji's eyes scanned Bai Biao several times. While talking, he sighed beside him. The more he said, the facial expression changed very quickly, and the smile on his face could not help but increase at the moment. Needless to say, the rest for the time being, this feeling needs to become more appropriate. After all, isn't that the case? Very real and very clear. It's clear, it's true. Cao. Master, your speed is too slow. Almost broke my defense. At that time, you will never see me again. Oh shit. What kind of Protoss people are really different from us? This body is too explosive. It hurts Lao Zi to death. Bai Biao gritted her teeth, and then used a healing card, and the pain gradually disappeared. The scene just now was simply not too exciting. At this moment, Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, also came over to check the situation. Shui Wanren glanced at Bai Biao with strange eyes, and then he was full of approval. In addition to being amazed by Bai Biao's super defensive power, he is also pleased with Bai Biao's courage to stand up at such a critical moment. If the students of Guangming Academy can be so united as one, how much less worry will he have to worry about? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3295. Good, very good. Bai Biao, I must reward you this time. If you hadn't stepped forward this time, many students would have been murdered by that god race. Speaking of which, you have contributed a lot. I didn't expect you to have such a fearless spirit before. We all need to learn from you. Shui Wanren nodded with a smile, fully expressing his praise. But to Bai Biao, these verbal rewards are just going in one ear and out the other. To put it bluntly, nothing. From the overall situation, he didn't care too much about these things. Cough. Deputy Palace Master, don't engage in those vain things, just say, give me as many Star Core rewards as you want. Material rewards are much simpler than spiritual rewards, so you don't have to deal with what you have. Deputy Palace Master. Bai Biao waved his hand, then nodded in agreement. Shui Wanren. How does this make him answer? What an embarrassing answer. Where has all this awareness gone? Dude, nothing. Can't you follow along and stop for a while? I have been tossing and tossing about this matter. The key is that there is no reason in the end. You kid, if you praise you a few words, you won't know the world. Dare to speak to the Deputy Palace Master like this. Do you think someone with the status of Deputy Palace Master will get less of your reward? The Deputy Palace Master praises you so much, it's an appreciation for you. If you were rewarded with Star Cores, do you think you would have lost tens of thousands of high-grade Star Cores? Uncle G waved his hand, and what he said immediately was a righteous speech. Shui Wanren originally thought that his grand Uncle G was here to rescue him, but when he heard the end, his face turned black. The master and apprentice are more shameless than the other. Tai Shuji's words seemed to be reprimanding Bai Biao, but any fool could tell that he was asking for a reward for his apprentice. Okay. You two, master and apprentice, stop singing oboe here. Knock it off, don't you knock it off. Really are. Hurry up. Shui Wanren waved his hand, and immediately led the way. Brother Bai Biao is so terrifying. Brother Bai Biao is bottomless. This background is unpredictable. Fang Fan strode over, and then glanced at Bai Biao a few times, and the smile on his face couldn't help but increased. The physical attack power of the Saint-level Protoss just now even reached the peak of the Holy Realm. But after being punched several times by such an existence, Bai Biao can still hold on, and the injury is not very serious, which is enough to show that Bai Biao can continue to hold on. All aspects of the situation are followed, and it is too powerful to show. Fang Fan was thinking about what it would be like if Bai Biao faced the powerful demigod. Being stared at by Fang Fan, Bai Biao felt a little nervous. At this moment, he couldn't help shrinking his neck, and took a few steps back. Fang Fan, what the hell are you thinking of again? I was almost hammered to death just now, and it was all because of you. After this wave of scheming for me, my envoy almost died. I have to avoid you in the future, you are too dark. I can't resist you, and if I'm not careful, I'll be led into a ditch by you kid. Bai Biao took a deep breath, and then couldn't help but twitched. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3296. Brother Bai Biao, why did you say that? Can this be called a pit? Brother Bai Biao just showed his super fighting power normally, so why shouldn't it? Speaking of which, the combat power in this aspect is really shocking. Brother Bai Biao's defensive power is the first in the entire Guangming Academy, and this has always been an undoubted thing. We never questioned it. Brother Bai Biao, didn't you notice that those seniors around you are now looking sideways at you? This opportunity, isn't it here? Brother Bai Biao, if you don't behave like this, where did you get such a good opportunity? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then reminded him from the side. Bai Biao was stunned for a moment, and at first he really didn't react. But after he reacted, the smile on his face grew more and more. Isn't that the case? Has his tall and mighty image been shown through the battle just now? Good guy. If that's the case, isn't this spiritual head here? Cough. I don't want to complain, it's just that I didn't prepare enough just now. If you prepare a little bit, that god clansman in the holy state still wants to hurt me? That's just out of the Arabian Nights. Speaking of which, that's what happened. Actually, the opponents I really care about are those demigods. Holy One? I really don't care about this level of attack power. It's just a saint, don't care at all. Floating. It's really beautiful. Listen. Listen carefully. What is it all about? Brother Bai Biao, what you said is a bit too much. In the Saint Venerable realm, there are still many strong people. Although they have never stepped into the demigod realm, their combat power is second only to that of demigods. Besides, how many demigods are there? Gisha took a breath, and then sighed beside him. Isn't that the case in all aspects? From a comprehensive point of view, it is very contagious. Holy One. He. In my Bai Biao's eyes, under the demigod, everything is rubbish. It's drifting, it's really drifting this time. In order to pretend, Bai Biao has completely let go. I dare to say that everything under a demigod is rubbish. Fang Fan stood aside, almost laughing out loud. Don't look at Guisha, who is serious on weekdays, but at the critical moment, it's too cloudy. This guy most likely saw Taishaji walking towards the side, so he deliberately tricked Bai Biao into saying these big words. Okay, stop bragging, master is here. Fang Fan shook his head, then waved his hands. Bai Biao is the kind of person who can open a dyeing workshop with some color. Master. He. Who are you lying to? Fang Fan, you can't do this. You can't even make up excuses. Master, didn't he go to find the deputy palace master? Don't say that Grand Uncle G is not here, even if he is, I would say that under the demigod, they are all ants. Bai Biao held his head high and his chest high, with a vigorous posture. Oh. Is it? Under the demigod, are they all ants? In this way, I am also an ant. A cold snort swept over. Grand Uncle G came to Bai Biao with his eyes wide open, and the temperature around him dropped several degrees after saying a word. The arrogant look on Bai Biao's face froze instantly. Useless, cold. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3297. What kind of god luck is this? How could it be like this now? My brain hurts. Bai Biao took a deep breath, and the black lines on his forehead grew more and more. This master can do anything. If you are not careful, you will be pounded when you come up. Cough. Master. Coincidence. Aha. Then what? That's not what I said just now. Cough, I mean, Master, you must be excluded. Master, you are worthy in front of demigods, you are an invincible boss. None of these rules apply to you. Master, don't think too much about that. Master, I'll slip away first. Bai Biao rolled his eyes, and then ran away. If it goes on like this, it will be really cold. The cool moonlight is shining in full. My heart hurts. It's gone in minutes. From all aspects, isn't that the case? This kid. It never stops. Grand Uncle G looked at Bai Biao's gesture, and complained angrily, but the smile on his face showed that he still attached great importance to Bai Biao. Gradually, the smile on Tai Shuja's face disappeared, replaced by a solemn face. This time the situation is serious. I didn't expect that we would encounter more than a dozen Protoss people not long after we first entered the territory of God's land. Among them are 2 saints. This shows that their movements have become more frequent. If there is a first time, there may be a second time. Some things must be stabilized and stabilized. Don't be careless. It will be even more dangerous if 1 or 2 demigod-level Protoss appear next time. So don't think that you are safe and sound in the territory of the Divine Land. And don't think that having the Deputy Palace Master leading the team can guarantee that you are completely safe. On the contrary, it may be more dangerous here than outside. Therefore, you must seize every opportunity, and you really can't miss it anymore. This trip to the True God Cave, I will try my best to improve myself. If you can find the opportunity that belongs to you in the True God Cave, that would be great. I don't know if the discovery of the territory of the gods is a good thing or a bad thing. Grand Uncle G took a deep breath, and looked very solemn at the moment. His brows gradually wrinkled into Sichuan characters. It was obvious that there was a lot of hesitation in his heart. Teacher Taishu, aren't you a little too pessimistic? The land of the gods can give us a chance to be promoted quickly. We have so many strong people in the light camp, are we still afraid of an illusory god? Besides, in the matter of fighting against the gods, we should also stand on the united front with the Dark Camp and the Yuanxi Academy, right? They should also contribute their efforts. With so many of us fighting together, how could something unexpected happen? Zhuoqiuyao raised his eyebrows, and then followed suit. In general, he still appears to be more optimistic. Even, I feel a little excited about these unknowns. Danger and opportunity always coexist. The greater the risk, the greater the opportunity may be. It is not the case to stay in Guangming Academy all the time, it is Zhuoqiu Yao's wish to be able to come out and venture out. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3298. When he was in Guangming Academy before, Zhuoqiu Yao liked to wander around the various dangerous places, and even obtained star cores by killing monsters. This kind of adventurous thing is his favorite. Fang Fan groaned on the spot, didn't speak for a while, but just listened silently. He felt particularly unfamiliar with the so-called Divine Land territory. Everything is restarting. Why? A newborn calf is not afraid of a tiger. It's good to have such a vigorous fighting spirit, but you must pay attention to protecting yourself. Now we don't even know where the gods live, how many there are, whether there are demigods, and how many demigods there are. It's like trying to guess the answer to a riddle. If the Protoss are too powerful, we may suffer a disaster. Forget it, it's no use talking to you. If something happens, we old guys will still be there. Don't think too much about it. Now it's enough to take care of the affairs of the True God Cave Mansion. Tai Shuja waved his hand and left immediately. There is a lot of discussion below. These students are also excited about the unknown. These Protoss people are so powerful. We are no match at the same level. We won't encounter them later, right? My God, I feel so dangerous now. If something happens, will we all die? Why? Everything is unclear now, and even the Deputy Palace Master can't give us an accurate answer. There may be more terrifying existences in the territory of the Sacred Land, otherwise, or we should withdraw and block all the entrances to the territory of the Sacred Land, otherwise if those terrifying existences in the territory of the Sacred Land are disturbed, can our Guangming Academy survive? Hee. Cowardly. Idiot. Where is this? Are you afraid? Such a timid person shouldn't have practiced in the first place. What are you pretending to be? Why didn't you rush over when you saw those Protoss? That panicked dog really thought we didn't see it? Damn it. You say it again. You're courting death. Just say it. Do it. The yelling couldn't help but increased, and everyone's emotions were extremely impatient now. It seems that it is about to do it directly. This scene will explode in minutes. Amidst bursts of noise, everyone quickly arrived at the area where the True God Cave Mansion was located. At this moment, many people have gathered here. There are all major forces. Take a break for a few days. After the backup teams of the students from the various colleges arrive, you can directly open the entrance of the True God Cave. Then it will be your performance time, but don't let me lose the chain. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, had a serious face, and then said earnestly from the sidelines. Set up camp and go. Fang Fan waved his hand, then walked in front, found a slightly higher ground and set up the tent. The view here is good, and if something happens, you can respond in time. Xiangfei, don't you have a tent? I still have two here, why don't you use them? Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, came from a distance. Seeing that the three daughters of the concubine Xiang were unmoved, she spoke bluntly. This tutor Ding Ling had taught the first-grade seed class for a period of time before, and Fang Fan was naturally quite familiar with it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3299. As for concubine Xiang, she is actually the niece and aunt of this middle-aged beautiful woman mentor Ding Ling. Xiangfei still wants to call this middle-aged beautiful woman tutor Ding Ling auntie. Auntie, I'm fine, I have a tent, let's get it done later. Concubine Xiang blinked, then followed suit. Xiao Liulai and Lu Jiyi looked at each other, and nodded quickly. For it. Are you in such a hurry? Why don't you live with me? Right now, there are only me and instructor Murongyu in my tent. If you come over, it's okay to squeeze a little bit. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, followed subconsciously. Auntie. No need. I will take care of myself, and I won't have no place to sleep at night. Concubine Xiang gritted her teeth, and then said in a slightly coquettish tone. Something's wrong. It's not right. You little girl, didn't you like sleeping with your aunt before? How come now that I'm older, but I'm unfamiliar with my aunt? Come on. Stop the ink. The middle-aged beautiful tutor froze for a moment, then smiled and said, the main reason is that she hasn't gotten to a certain key point. Ding Ling, don't waste your time. They must have lived together these few nights. The tents were set up for them. Hasn't our Captain Fang Fan already set up the tents? You can see that the tents are specially enlarged. Murongyu walked over with a swaying figure, and when he spoke, there was some sour taste in his tone. Anyway, it sounds inexplicably rushed to my ears. Fang Fan. What's the meaning? Ah. You four live together. Sleeping together. You, are all at this level now. You. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful tutor, stared wide-eyed, completely stunned at this moment. She does know the relationship between Fang Fan and concubine Xiang, and also knows that Fang Fan is not very disciplined outside. But she really didn't consider this level. Isn't this a bit too exciting? It's normal for young people to fall in love or something, but if they develop a deep relationship, shouldn't they pay attention to rhythm or something? In addition, 3 women and 1 man. What is this trying to do? Isn't that the case? Our Captain Fang Fan is so cute that everyone loves flowers. Anyway, it's all about being merciful. I don't know when it evolved into Alexander Dumas. Taking advantage of the fact that there were no outsiders around, Murongyu began to dissent crazily. Anyway, I just want to vent all the bitterness in my heart. Along the way, because of his identity, Murongyu has always kept a distance from Fang Fan. And Fang Fan was surrounded by 3 beauties, but he often tossed and tossed from the sidelines. Murongyu is not that kind of stingy person, but seeing such a scene all the time, he still has some special thoughts in his heart. Watching the man she loves flirt with other women, even the most sensible woman will be jealous. What's more, 2 of these 3 women are actually his female disciples. Seeing Murongyu keeping his resentful gaze on him, Fang Fan couldn't help but laugh. He knew what this woman was thinking in an instant. Fang Fan immediately stretched out his hand, wrapped his arms around Murongyu's delicate waist skillfully, and then pulled her into his arms very forcefully, wantonly loving. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3300. Tonight, you can't leave either. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and then he muttered to himself, the sparkle in his eyes involuntarily increased. Suddenly, the base of Murongyu's ears turned red. Just now Fang Fan deliberately leaned over and murmured softly, puffs of hot air rushed towards him, coupled with those inappropriate words, instantly broke Murongyu's defense. At this moment, there is no energy left in my heart to take care of jealousy or something, I just want to dig a hole in the ground and get in. How embarrassing. The bastard. He did it on purpose. Murongyu took a deep breath, thinking to himself, and then couldn't help casting a resentful look at Fang Fan. Anyway, at this moment, I feel bad in my heart. My brain is even buzzing. This feeling cannot be expressed clearly in a few words. All in all, it is very appropriate. You. What do you mean? Altogether. Co-author, the clown is actually me. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, opened her mouth. At this moment, the black lines on her forehead grew more and more. While talking, she couldn't help taking a few breaths. What's the matter? The more I talk, the more I can't understand. A fancy suit. This is why some people don't understand the many routines in it. Thinking about this, my brain became buzzing. After tossing for a long time, Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, gritted her teeth and left. What are you doing staying here? Isn't it embarrassing enough? As night falls, there is silence. Inside the tent, there is no sense of anticipation as they tell each other their hearts and minds. It's just that there are too many people, and I really couldn't let go at first. Especially Mirong-yu, whose face was flushed from beginning to end, and looked very embarrassed anyway. I wanted to say something, but all the words seemed to be locked in my throat and I couldn't speak anymore. Many thoughts and ideas are slowly solidified here, and it is nothing. Everything, silence. Don't be so restrained. Everyone is so familiar. It's okay. Xiangfei is your apprentice, and Xiao Liulai is also your apprentice. Well, Ji can be regarded as your student. Take it easy. Fang Fan leaned close to Mirong-yu's ear and said softly. What returned was Mirong-yu's resentful look. You bad guy. You know how to mess with flowers. It's all right now? Is it all gone? So bad. These are all my apprentices, how can I let go? You let me go. Mirong-yu took a deep breath, and then rolled his eyes angrily. That's the thing, that's the situation. From a comprehensive point of view, it is particularly embarrassing. A few words can no longer make a clear expression. After thinking about this, it is good to have a feeling in my heart. It's impossible to let go, it's impossible to let go in this life. You were the one who sent it to your door just now. If you want to escape now, it may not be that simple. Fang Fan murmured to himself, and the light in his eyes gradually increased. At this moment, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, all kinds of thoughts gathered here, and the facial expression changed very realistically. Looking at it, I don't have a feeling. What followed was a rather chaotic time. Under the night, the lights are turned off, and everything is silent. Because he couldn't let go of the tent he built, Fang Fan could only move the battlefield to the small world of Shushan Pavilion in the end.